Normally I come on here and I try to get cute with it and try to come up with an analogy that makes sense, but not today. Now, I ain't got the energy for it. I ain't gonna hold you. That game on Sunday took everything out of me. The Dallas Cowboys, they lost a game that, yeah, you can lose. You can get outplayed. Certain decisions can be made, but how they lost on Sunday, I ain't gonna hold you. It's one of the worst losses I've ever experienced as a Cowboys fan. It's bad. To have that type of situation happen. And obviously I'm going to get into it. So let's just do that, right? QB draw, 14 seconds left. You go 5 yards too deep. And then you don't know to give the ball to the ref. But let's dial it back, right? How did we get here? How did we get into that situation in the first place? Well, I'll tell you how we got into that situation. Dallas defers instead of taking the ball and scoring. Because for whatever reason, Mike McCarthy believes that he has a 2000 Ravens back there. Mike McCarthy believes that it's fine. We don't need to take the ball and set the tone because we haven't done it all year, right? We don't set the tone. We're always down big points. And then our quarterback, our fearless quarterback, will be able to dig us out of the hole. How does that work out for the Dallas Cowboys this season in regards to playing teams that are actually good? They lost to the Bucs on opening night. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. They lost to the Denver Broncos. They lost to the Oakland Raiders. They lost to the Arizona Cardinals. 4 out of those 5 teams are actually good teams. Now, Denver is not a bad team. They're just not elite. But they're good. They can game plan for you. This is the problem that I'm having with Dallas right now. Is that after a loss like that, where the San Francisco 49ers rush the ball, you can't stop them. Deebo Samuel is doing all the things that Deebo does. Jimmy Garoppolo has a perfect first half and then falls off the table in the second half to give Dallas a chance to even get back into the game. Where do you go from here? Where do you go? Dan Quinn possibly is going to get a job in this cycle. After the performance that Kellen Moore put on, I don't think anybody wants him, so he'll stay. Mike McCarthy has gotten reassurance from the front office that he's not going anywhere. So how does this team get better? Here's my answer. They don't. The Cowboys are going to be the same team that they were this year, next year. The only difference is that Dan Quinn won't be there. That edge that he gave the defense won't be there. So, this was the year, right? Because Dak's cap hit this year was team friendly. All the guys you got on 1-year deals on defense that need to be signed back. Dalton Schultz is a free agent. There's so many question marks. Where do you fix this team? Jerry Jones himself is confused. Jerry Jones is not a man of few words. Jerry Jones will tell you exactly what's on his mind. Jerry Jones didn't have anything to say on Sunday. That's how painful this loss was because of the potential that's here. We've heard all year, Dak is this, Dak is that. He's having his best year of his career. That's why he's getting the big bucks, $75 million a year, to not know that you have to give the ball to the ref. That's what we're paying for. An offensive coordinator that refuses to take shots downfield. A head coach that doesn't understand clock management and doesn't really preach defense because the team led the league in penalties. Had 14 penalties on Sunday. Tied a franchise record. All of those things. What is going to change next year? Nothing. McCarthy's still going to be there. He's going to be a year older and no smarter. Kellen Moore is going to be there. Another year pass. And no braver because he doesn't like to take shots downfield. He's a dink and dump type of guy. Bland offense, predictable offense. What's going to change? The biggest problem that I have with this team that's not an upper echelon team and they're not a basement team, they're right there in the middle. And the worst place that you can possibly be is in the middle. Because the moves that you make, you think that you're a couple of pieces away from contending and being a real Super Bowl contender. And you don't really believe that you're that low to the basement either. You're right there in the middle. Purgatory. It's football purgatory. That's not where you want to be. You want to be somewhere where they can be able to tell you that you lived a good life, that you're that close to nirvana, that paradise. No, they're in purgatory. And it's not going to get any better. Roger Staubach is not running through that door. Brett Favre is not running through that door. You have Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott who continues to make mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. That 5-yard out that turned into an interception, mistake. Those are rookie mistakes, 2-year mistakes. It's not something that a $75 million man makes. He doesn't do that. You don't see Brady make those type of mistakes. You don't see Aaron Rodgers make those type of mistakes. Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. No, we have Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott needs things to be perfect. Perfect defense. Make sure the offensive line is clicking. Make sure you got the greatest weapons on the outside. Make sure you got the greatest running backs. Make sure you got the greatest head coach. Make sure special teams is fine. That's Dak Prescott. If you don't have that, it's not going to be ideal. That's the problem, is that Dak Prescott is more Kirk Cousins. Dak is more Baker Mayfield than he actually is Tom Brady or Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes. So what do? How do you get better when the guy making the decisions behind center continues to make the same mistakes? Blames the refs. The whole team does that. And that's a problem. That's a reflection of the coach. We've heard all year, oh, it's the referees, the coaches, referees. Mike McCarthy's talking about referees. When they lose, it's referees. When they win, it's not the referees, right? Referees didn't help you win. No. You had Dak Prescott echo those same BS nonsense at the press conference. Talked about, credit to the fans for throwing bottles at the refs. Later came out and apologized today, so shouts to him for that. But that's what it is being a Dallas Cowboys fan. It's the excuses. When things go wrong, it's the referees, we got jerked, did this or that. But do we ever actually look at ourselves and say, you know what? We put ourselves in this situation. The fact that we spotted them so many points, why are we shocked? Why are we ever shocked? It's not going to get any better because Jerry Jones cannot get out of his own way. Instead of hiring a coach that is a disciplinarian, a guy that can be able to hold players accountable, he wants a yes man. He wants a puppet. And that's exactly what Mike McCarthy is. Don't let the regular season wins fool you. He did it in Green Bay. They won. But they have one Super Bowl to show for it. We won't get there because we don't have an Aaron Rodgers. And we may have some nice pieces that people like. Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb. But the reality is that the same team that you saw this year is going to be the same team that you see next year. They're going to win maybe 11, 12 games. They're going to win the division because the NFC East is still bad. And they're going to lose in the first round. And Cowboys fans are going to look again and say, why does this happen every year? It happens because when your head coach and your quarterback are not elite and they're not terrible, right there in the middle, that's what type of results you're going to get. You'll never be able to beat those teams at the top. You can be able to beat those teams at the bottom, but where do those teams end up at the end of the season? The teams that can't beat the elite teams, they end up right there in the middle of the pack. Nothing will change. Dak's cap number is going to keep going up over the next few years. You have Zeke that pretty much looks done. I mean, he said that he had a PCL tear, okay. But is he going to be able to come back? I don't know. Amari Cooper wants to be back, but may be a cap casualty. Randy Gregory, I really don't want him back after that undisciplined Goldberg tackle that he had. So, there's no changes that's going to happen. There's no drastic changes that's going to propel this team where you want them to be, because the changes that really need to be made